Let me solo her is pretty much Will's build if he played a Soulsborne game. Jesus. Like, it wasn't actually a solo effort. Without having some enhancements and some swords, it would have been a lot harder, and I'm sure he would have broke his fist if he had to just use his own hands to punch through everything. But that team effort of having Colette make him a magical gauntlet just so he could actually punch shit, and then, the unlimited blade works moment and how he then gets a blade. What I love about this entire situation is he walked into this battle with the he's him energy. He's like, no more. The idea of essentially run and gun, but this time magic and run, is just so cool. And watching the real ones in the crowd, so some of the faculty and of course the people scouting for true talent are recognizing that this kid Will, we gotta keep our eyes on. A majority of the crowd is pretty much like, it's just because of her magic. And I'm sure there's going to be some mofos who are going to say that makes no sense. How could they see that? And to that I say, go look at how racism and discrimination in our own world works, when very literally people will make excuses just so they don't have to compliment someone they don't like. And in this world, someone who can't use magic is pretty much the lowest of the low in this world. So yes, it does make sense. But the fact that the whole time we're probably thinking Julius is going to be the big fight, and that gets stomped on because Sion pops up and says, I've been pissed off for a month. Now I'm ready. I'm not even mad. Like, to have the whole, kind of Deku Bakugo situation where they can actually work together pretty cool, calm, and collected for the most part, it's gonna take a bit, and I think, honestly, even if it ruins our chances to win, I'm really excited for the forest fire that is this fight. I have full live reactions over on Patreon. If you want to see my full and thought to any of these Wistoria episodes, it's going to be over there exclusively. So, overall, last week ended with one of the worst characters. Great for entertainment value, but I wish his death to the highest degree. Julius is just a prick. And it's interesting because it seems like right now what they're setting up is it's Julius versus Colette, where we have Will versus Sion, which is interesting. I mean, I'm not sure how long that will go on for, but yeah, it is getting spicy. And I'm interested because, at the end of the day, we know Will. He belongs in the world in a weird way. Because if you look at it just as, well, he can't cast spells, why would he be at this school? We rewind 3-4 episodes back, we understand that his academic grades are fantastic. And as the principal says, I mean, if he can find a way to get the credits to pass, there's literally career paths that he could go down, which would be stuff like, alchemy or any other types of stuff where he could literally be a benefit to society. We know, of course, he's going against the grain and wants to climb the tower and basically be among the best. And yes, that does force change that this world is very much not ready for. But if he can find a way to do it, then he can find a way to do it. It's just so cool because on one hand, you want to say he just pulled a one-man army because it's his skill and his talent and his physical physique that lets him use that gauntlet and the swords that are summoned the way he did. But at the same time, you have to give credit where it's due, that without Colette summoning that stuff, I mean, he literally would have been Deku, man. Deku, before he started getting, enhancements and, suit modifications, was breaking his arm every other week. That's what would have happened as he punched through all those cube monsters. It would have been a little reckless. But the set design. So this Coliseum is way cooler than I thought. I thought it was just duels in a Coliseum and people sat in a giant ass circle and watched and cheered. There's 6 different locations they have to travel through to get to the crown, which is, I assume, in the middle of the Coliseum, in order to get the W. And the variety, haunted forest, the Badlands just feels like a Borderlands aesthetic. There's, I think it was the Grasslands, looks like it has piranha plants. Just some really cool stuff across the board. And even the beginning of the episode with the dragon race was a cool way to establish everything. The production was strong this episode. And for as many flames, icicles, electricity, and the this is one point where he punches the ground and erupts a stone wall to protect himself. Just so cool. The little attention to detail in this show goes a long way. And even the little stuff. This isn't the first time I've seen a magic anime do this, but usually announcers have microphones that they scream into. In this case, they use their wands. Edward, I think is the teacher's name, just has his kind of like sitting on like a little stand to point towards his mouth, where you have this dude who, I don't know if it's the same VA, but it sounds like it. If not, I mean, the character and personality just, it gives me the same impression. And what I'm talking about is anyone who's watched My Hero Academia knows that the hero, Mike, who's literally the announcer for pretty much any competition in that show, it's the same damn vibe. I swear to God, it's the same animation style, and the VAs sound similar. And honestly, you need a good announcer. Sporting events or anything, like if you have fun announcers, it makes stuff you either don't care about exciting, and if you do care about, even more thrilling. And while I was gonna enjoy this no matter what, this man added a level of energy and charisma that took it up a few notches. Hell, if you had an announcer like that, I'd probably watch the Olympics. I'd be like, I don't give a shit about no sledding or this or that, but damn, the guy got me hyped as hell. Just very good stuff. They have the anger and tension of the Julius stuff, and us trying to get that W, proving him wrong. But then you have to remember that the anger and the resentment that someone like Sion has for someone like Will, it's not just gonna go away overnight. They are gonna become past. I believe that with every bone in my body. Because it's a different interaction and starting point than it was with someone like Julius. But at the same time, it's just not gonna magically go away. There's gonna be a lot of, trauma bonding, so to speak. But either way, man, like, I don't know where they want to go. I almost want to feel like Will's not gonna get the W in this competition, like the first place. But what he's proved is insane, and people are noticing. And those who haven't noticed are lying to themselves and trying to say, oh, of course, it's the magic, because magic is #1 in this world. Those who don't use magic can go, you know, piss off, basically. Great stuff. Production remaining fantastic. That week break didn't spell doom or gloom after all. It was just so good to watch both last week and this week. The flames, the icicles, and all the numerous attacks. Like, I honestly think the creatures they were fighting, like, they start as cubes and then they turn into those, like, you know, bots. At one point, they kind of act like cannons. Just really cool designs. I love the look. I love the feel. And all I can do is cross my fingers that this show gets blessed the same way the author's other work, Danmachi, is. We get Season 5 of Danmachi next anime season. I would love to be able to come up here in a few years and say, damn, I can't wait for Season 5 of Wistoria. Let me know your thoughts down below. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course, ring that bell, and like I mentioned, full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. Alright, so today we have Cashin Dolly, Kaiser Sani, Lady Killdragon, Matthew Pizarro, Kakyu, Laser, and we also have Guy Tenant Plazank. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care. Y'all have a good one.